Welcome to the Dental Marketing Secrets Podcast, where we provide insight and feedback on what's working right now in the world of dental marketing so that you can grow your practice, serve more patients, and leave a greater impact in the end. I'm your host, Mark Thackeray. Hey, my friends, what is going on? Welcome back to another episode of the Dental Marketing Secrets Podcast. So excited to have you here. My name is Mark Thackeray. And as you know, our whole goal with this show is to help you grow your practice so that you can serve more patients and leave a greater impact on the world. There's a great need for that right now with everything that's going on. We need more people that are focused on community, focused on building instead of tearing down. And I know you can do that. This is what's so cool about this. How passionate I am about business. I feel like it can be that source of change for the better for so many people. So this is one of the reasons why I do this podcast, is to share some of the things that have worked for me to grow my business and the things that we use with our clients to grow their businesses. So things that are actually working. You know, we've made mistakes. We continue to make mistakes, but we learn from those mistakes and we grow. That's just how it is. You know, I wish there was a magic formula that could be applied to every single practice out there that would just work every time, you know, but I have yet to find that. I don't think we will, because there are so many variables involved. And that's actually one of the reasons why marketing is so fun and so fascinating, is because it's challenging. It's not as predictable as some other things. So I love that challenge. And again, excited to have you here with us on the show today. We're going to be talking a little bit about this is going to be a shorter episode, just some updates when it comes to the world of Facebook and Instagram advertising. A lot has happened since Apple came out with their iOS updates and the tracking and everything that's gone down with that and privacy. And it's changed the landscape quite a bit. You know, it doesn't, and I'll get into this a little bit, but there are some things that I feel like you need to be aware of as we're transitioning into a newer phase in paid social, in paid Instagram, paid Facebook advertising. We are seeing a couple of things that I wanted to talk about today. One is that you're starting to see interests, like interest targeting, go away. More and more interests are being removed from Facebook, the formalized ad campaigns where you can target those interests. So let's say that you are interested in, maybe you've clicked on an interest for, it could be anything, right? It could be ice hockey. Let's just say that, right? The NHL or something like that. Some of those things are starting to disappear, where you can no longer target people that have an interest in the NHL or ice hockey. And I think one of the reasons why they're doing that is to open up the audience sizes for the Facebook algorithm. You see, because the larger your audience size is, the more it allows Facebook to rev up its algorithm engine. Okay. And ultimately, that's where the magic can happen, is when you put the power of the algorithm to work for you to find the right people. So there's some caveats there. There's some challenges that come with that, right? So if you're not able to narrow down your audience based on interest, because that's going away, or you can't find the appropriate interest targeting interest in the targeting section, that's going to be one of the things you need to do. And sorry, there's a siren going outside my house. If you hear that, it is not for me, thankfully. But one of the things that you'll need to do because of that, because your audience size is larger, is going to have to whittle down and really filter out the people, the right people, as well as filter away or block or prevent the wrong people with your messaging. So the words that you use to copy, the images, the video that you're using is going to attract the right people. It needs to attract the right people and needs to repel all the rest. And that's one of the things that keeps coming back to me again and again as we run these campaigns and as we talk to clients and even as I talk to other advertisers, is the importance of really understanding who you're going after and not trying to do too many things with your ad. Sometimes people they want everything. As a practice, you want, I want implants, and I want Invisalign too, and I want this. And they list them all out in a single ad, when that doesn't really give you the chance to dive deep into why you should go get an implant. To really to help the patient understand the importance about that and the long-term consequences of avoiding that. You could go into the bone decay, and the face structure, and how that can change over time if you don't get a missing tooth replaced. Those sorts of things need to be in your copy, and it's hard to do that. It's nearly impossible to do that when you have too many services that you're promoting in a single ad. So messaging is becoming even more important, and messaging, as we've talked about before, comes back to truly understanding your ideal client, your ideal patient, understanding that profile, what makes them tick, what's important to them, the questions that they ask. Sometimes, and a lot of those questions are asked verbally, and some of them are asked inside their head. You have to spend time with them to understand that. So we've talked about the interest going away, the importance of messaging, and knowing how to articulate that message. And one of the things too is audience size. And this is for those that are in larger markets in particular, because when you get into let's say a metro area that has, Dallas, Fort Worth, things like that, where you literally can access or reach 1 million people within a 15, 20 mile radius, it doesn't necessarily mean you should, or you can probably reach more than that. You're going to want to narrow that down a little bit, just so that you're not overspending, right? The bigger audience you have, the more budget you typically should have. Otherwise, people aren't going to see your ad as frequently as they ought to. We like to shoot for at least 4 to 7 times within a given month, depending on the budget. That's going to give them enough touch points to really digest the message and come back to it. Because oftentimes it'll just plant the seed the first time or two, and then down the road they think about it and they get reminded, or sometimes even the first time they say, "Oh, yeah, I've been meaning to do that. I should do something about it," and then their attention is diverted and they never come back to it. So that the multiple touch points is what reminds them, I need to take action right now. Okay. So we try and aim for, anywhere from 4 to 7 touch points within a month, depending on your ad size. Sometimes it's going to be, or your ad budget. If it's bigger, you can touch them a lot more. In that sense, you can reach them a lot more. You can do that with a single ad, or you can do that with retargeting, which brings me to the next point that I wanted to share, is retargeting. With the changes in tracking from iOS, the Apple updates, it has become trickier to track and to retarget for certain things. So if you were doing that based on, let's say, people visiting a specific page on your website, which you can do or could do historically through a tracking pixel from Facebook, but that bit was based on third-party data. That was based on the iOS data and reporting back and things like that. But now that is a struggle, because Facebook has yet to come up with a really long-term solution for that. But it doesn't mean that you still can't do that. So you just have to be a little bit more creative in the way that you approach retargeting. And what I mean by that is that what you can do, instead of retargeting a specific visitor, a person who visits a specific page on your website, you can retarget those people that have interacted with your ad on Facebook, because Facebook can track that. That's all first-party data, that they collect, obviously, because it's them, right? It's their platform. They control that. And so you can target that specific audience, those people that have interacted with your page or with your ad. It's not quite as refined as the people that visit a specific page, because someone might click on your ad and go to your landing page, and then they click over to another page or things like that. So it may include additional traffic, but you should still reach those people that have shown some interest by clicking or engaging with your page. your Facebook page or Instagram page. So there are ways around it, and you're also starting to see Facebook push and promote more of the first party lead generation. So the lead forms and Messenger, Facebook and Instagram Messenger. So, and that's because, again, it's something that they can control, and they get they have that data right there to share with you afterwards. So those are also options that you can look at, is to do some type of lead generation or initiate a conversation immediately through the click of an advertisement. So those are a couple of updates. Another one that I wanted to mention is, now that the reporting has changed and it is taking longer for that data to get back, because their process has changed, and so they really haven't formalized a good process moving forward, and so it's clunky. It's not quite as quick in the turnaround time. Historically, you could do, you could make changes after 3 to 5 days. Typically was kind of the approach that we took was, okay, you watch your ads, you don't touch your ads after you've published them for 3 to 5 days, have that data, and then you can start looking at making changes. Now that has increased to at least 7 days, 7 to 10 days really, which does make things more challenging. If you are running maybe it's a seasonal holiday-based promotion, let's say Mother's Day, for example, you don't have the ability to change that as frequently, whereas before you could run a couple of days, maybe 3, 4 days, 5 days in advance, and then have some data. If you need to make some tweaks, you could do that. But now you don't have that luxury. You just don't have the data to back it up. There's a delay in the reporting. And so one of the things that we like to recommend when possible is to evaluate your data and compare it to other data sources. So that could be your website, that could be your CRM software, your landing page software, and see how that measures up. You want to see, okay, Facebook is reporting this many landing page visits or link clicks that drive to a specific landing page or page on your website. How many am I actually seeing on my website? Or how many does my landing page software show me that have clicked on it in the past 28 days? So it's measuring, it's comparing that data with another source to confirm its validity, right? And the last one I'll mention, I know I'm kind of I'm just spitball. There's a lot of things here, spewing out all these different things, but this one is one that I'll mention too. Just in closing, is the importance still, nothing new, no revelation here, but the importance of video. Video is still so strong right now in the world of social media. As you can see, the rise of TikTok, and that actually surpassed Google last year for the most searched website. Is it the website or app or whatever? More searches than Google, which was crazy to me. And a lot of that, just goes to show the power of video and how consuming that is. And when you think about it from the advertiser or the social media platforms perspective, and even others, you see that video can keep you on their platform longer. Really is what it comes down to. And the more time you spend on there, the longer you are on there, the better chance you have to be shown advertising, which is where they make their money, right? And so that makes sense. That aligns with what they're trying to do. They're naturally going to promote it, assuming it's engaging, and will keep you on the platform longer. But they tend to prioritize it a little bit more. And what's cool about video is you really have the chance to showcase your personality. That's something that nowadays, with the plethora of options that we have at our fingertips, thanks to the internet, there are so many different dentists that you can choose from. And so showcasing who you are, what you stand for, how personable you are, or how sincere you are, or how transparent you are, whatever your strengths are, show those. Be loud and proud with those strengths, let your freak flag fly, as they say, and people will come to you because they like you. they trust you that you'll do a good job, and I trust that you will do a good job. Most dentists out there do a great job. There's some that don't, and eventually they kind of get weeded out. But there's a lot of great dentists out there, and so now as a consumer, we've kind of checked off that box of proficiency, and now it's more, who do I really enjoy? Who do I trust? Who do I like to be around? And so that's where video can really come in as well. So those are some different things to think about, my friends, for those that are actively advertising on Facebook and Instagram, or that would like to start advertising on Facebook and Instagram. And I do encourage that. I mean, it's another investment, but the way I look at it is, this is something, and it's going to take time. It's going to take experimentation, testing, variations, reiteration. There's lots of that goes on, because it's kind of a mixture of science and art. It's not. There are just nuances and variables that you have to figure out. But the beauty of all this is that it really can be promoting your office 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, never gets tired, never goes on vacation. And you can reach people and remind people and reinforce relationships with existing patients to keep them in your practice. How many competitors that you have you're keeping them at arm's length. There's so many, sometimes fighting them off with a stick. They're so aggressive now. And this is an easy way to maintain that relationship. So if you are curious, if you would like to try an ad campaign, maybe you haven't tried one in the past, or maybe you have and didn't have the success that you would like, I would love to talk to you. We do this all the time. We can share ideas. I don't believe in high pressure at all. If it's fit, then great, let's try it. If it's not, then great, best of luck, no worries, no hardship, anything like that. So if you are interested, let me know. You can contact me at mark@markthackeray.com. So I switched up my domain name, just made it a little bit easier. Mark, M-A-R-K, at Mark, M-A-R-K-T as in Tom, HACKERAY.com. I will put the address to that, my email address, up on the show notes. But until next time, my friends, keep up the great work, and we will talk to you soon. Hey, my friends, thank you for joining us today on the show. And if you haven't yet, be sure to check out our website for resources, downloads, and additional information at www.dentalmarketingsecretspodcast.com. Again, that's dentalmarketingsecretspodcast.com. And we'll catch you next time on the show.